everybody. Welcome back to This Is How We Create. I'm so pleased that you're here. My name is Martine Severin, your host. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about how to be your own champion by reframing sales. I know, sales is that thing that we can have our feelings about, but there's this idea that we rarely say out loud in the world. We rarely say that once you make the work, once you paint the thing, once you shoot your photos, when you throw the clay, it is someone else's job to sell it, whether it's a gallery, a rep, an agent, or somebody else. But what if it's not just someone else's job? What if the role of the artist doesn't end at creation? But what if the artist's job is to become their own champion? So today on the show, we are going to talk about that uncomfortable but really essential part of being a creative professional. We're going to talk about promotion and sales. And I think we've talked about this before, but we want to talk about it not as a hustle, not as a hard sale, but as a kind of form of self-advocacy. Because if we can learn to talk about our work and not just make the work, I think we can also create careers that are sustainable and thrilling and rewarding. So first, we're going to talk about the myth of the found artist. Oh boy, there is this story that we've all been told that, especially as artists of color, that if our work is really good enough, if it's good enough that someone will discover it, we will be found. Let me tell you, that's not how it works. The thing about this myth, it keeps us passive, and I think it also keeps us quiet. It keeps us out of the rooms where the decisions are actually made. I used to believe that if I posted enough, if I shot enough work, if I went to enough portfolio reviews, if I made enough good work, someone would come knocking. And honestly, that doesn't happen. They didn't come knocking. And why should they? Because my work deserves more than hoping to be found. And I think I needed to find a champion. And that champion had to be me. You know, the whole thing, don't hide your light under a bushel. It's all about that. So you have to make yourself easy to be a champion. So that's segment 2. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how the role of the artist doesn't end with creation, and you have to create your own champion. The idea of being your own champion really stopped me and made me think about how I could change my outlook in my work and make it easy to be my own champion. When I work with my rep or when I work with producers, I know they're busy, and what makes them remember me isn't just the quality of my work, but it's also the story behind the work. And it's how organized I am. It's the fact that I respond to their messages right away. It's the fact that what they need, whether it's images, bios, specs, whatever it is, I will give it to them. We can't expect galleries or agencies to carry out the whole narrative for us, because we really have to build that narrative. We have to hand it over to them fully formed, and we have to say, this is who I am, this is what I make, and this is why it matters. When you approach marketing as care and not aggression, it really shifts something in the way that you talk about yourself. And this is where I'm going to talk to you about Marketing Monday. Mondays for me are all about reaching out, and it's not about scrambling, but it's really all about making relationship and tending to relationships. I don't send mass emails or ask for work. I send check-ins and I send notes, handwritten notes to my network. I let people know that I see them. I remind them that I'm still here, that I'm still working, and I'm still creating. I think some people think about marketing as super aggressive, like it's a billboard. It can really be generous, and it could really be regional. It can be local. And one of my clients says, "You're always in my inbox at the right time." Well, that's not luck. That really is about a system that I created to make it easy for myself. Nolis Anderson, who was on the podcast, Nolis talked about how he does the exact same thing I'm telling you about right now. He markets through relationships. And the way that Nolis does this is he'll go on LinkedIn, he'll go on Instagram and just comment on people's stories. He'll comment on their latest post about their kid losing a tooth or vacation that they've taken to India. Whatever it is, he's there commenting. And he makes sure that he asks people out for coffee. When I had my rep, Stan Evans, who's this really amazing photographer, one of the things he said that really stopped me in my tracks was that he understands how many jobs he needs to book in any given year. And he did the math and went back and realized that because he wants to book X jobs, he has to reach out to X number of people. And I think for him, it was like he has to do 26 outreaches each week. And so you can do the math and figure out what that looks for you. The other thing that is really interesting is that one thing that you could do is whenever you're thinking about someone, I bet you 100% that person's thinking about you too. Because there's this weird thing that happens with us as humans where we send thoughts across the ether. So if you're thinking about someone, it means they're thinking about you. And so make sure that whatever they're thinking, it's good and reach out then and there. Let's talk about representation. If you get a rep or you have a gallery, what representation can do and what it can't. So I've worked with reps and I've had agents. And I will tell you that representation, it is not a magic wand. And a rep can open doors for you. But if you don't know how to talk about your work when you walk through those doors, if you don't know how to deliver on the promise that you make, that door will quietly close and people are not going to reach out to you again. Because your rep will need language. They'll need language on what's your why. They need your stories. They need your positioning. And that's why I keep all of this ready at my folder. And your rep will ask for all of this information from you. And then they will create in their own language, in their marketing, all of those other things as well. So here are some of the things that you'll give to your rep. You'll have an artist statement. You'll have a bio. You'll have high-res images, print specs, and lots of other extra things. You'll have the list of clients that you've had before. And obviously, your rep will likely have a list of things that they're going to need from you. And that list will probably be in the agreement that you share with them. So all of these things are going to be really important for you to be able to be your own champion and for them to be able to champion you. And as your rep is sending out messages, you will be in partnership with that rep and you're going to be able to edit it and send notes back to them and say, hey, I would say this instead of that. And when it comes to writing a treatment, which is usually it's kind of like a deck or presentation when you are going to bid for a job. You're going to be creating the treatment and then your rep is going to be sending it out. So it really is a partnership and not just like they're going to wave a magic wand and they're going to do everything for you. Let's talk about some tips for those who are product-based creatives. This is going to apply even if you sell prints, ceramics, textiles, anything physical really, because people are not going to be buying the thing. They are going to be buying the story. We say sell the sizzle and not the steak. And this is so true. You have to talk about your values. You have to talk about why you created that crockery or that plate. What is your why? Why should people believe in you? What's the story that's making people really trust you and spend their dollars on you? And so when I talk to artists who run their shops, they are selling oftentimes a ritual. They're selling the memory of a grandmother's kitchen. They're selling the home. And one artist that I really admire have a story card with every mug when she ships it. So that story card is really great because it says, this is who I am. This is why I'm doing all of this. If you sell products, you really need to ask yourself, what is someone actually buying when they buy whatever product you're selling? How can your story be made visible? Now, this is gonna sound a bit awkward, but say it with me. Write your sales script out loud. You want to practice it with a friend, a cousin, your cat, your dog, your favorite stuffed animal. Because when you can talk, you are going to clarify your values. You're going to stop fumbling and you're going to stop apologizing. You're going to start owning your work. And with that, confidence is going to come. So you're not going to need to sound like a car dealer. You're going to sound like someone who really, truly, absolutely believes in what you make. Because if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in your products, why should anybody else? It's so important for you to be your own champion and to work in your own best interest and stop sabotaging yourself. So I love to give homework. So here are 3 small steps you can take this week. Build your sales kit. Have a folder with your bio, your artist statement, your images, and specs. Start your marketing Monday. And I mean that. Reach out with intention on Mondays, every single Monday. And you want to start practicing your pitch. Write it out, say it out loud, get comfortable with your values. That's it. That's it. I'm Martine Severin. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of This Is How We Create. I am so happy that you've listened to the end so that you can learn how to be your own champion. So get out there and be your own champion, and we'll see you on the next episode of This Is How We Create. See you later. Hi there. If you're loving this show, would you mind taking a quick second to leave us a 5-star review on your favorite go-to podcast app? While you're at it, subscribe to our Substack newsletter, Creative Matters. You can find the link to subscribe in the show notes. All right, that's all that I have for you today. Bye.